Now, first thing what I want to show you guys is, this is a good tool, guys. Look, I'm going to use a circle. Okay. So there's a tool called offset. You probably wonder what it is. It's called offset. The shortcut is letter F. So offset creates another circle or another object within or outer of that object, but with uniform distance. So here, look, I'm using offset. You see this circle? It is uniformly distributed. It is like there's a equivalent amount of space between lines of the circles. So it's called offset, right? If you turn it, you will see that it's perfect. Or for example, rectangle. If you were to use you remember we did a chimney. So when we did a chimney, we could have used this. We could have used lift it up, and then we could have used offset like this, and then we could have push it down, and then it would be a perfect chimney, right? So that's what we use offset for, to creating same object with uniform distance from the original object. It can be inside the object, it can exceed the boundaries of the object. Okay, that's what offset is. Second tool which I want to talk about is called measure tool. Measure tool actually helps me to make objects with a particular measure. For example, I want to make 20 by 25-inch rectangle. How would I do that? You can use a measure tool to measure it first. For example, you know how to measure it? You click once, and then you click the second one. You need to adjust the distance, okay? And then you see, now the distance from here to here is 424 inches. Now, let's say I want to make 20 by 25-inch rectangle. This is what you guys do. You use the measure tool, drag it, and you just type the measure. So it's gonna be, all right, let it be like 200 inch. 200 inch. When you type 200 inch, wait a minute, 200 inch. You see right bottom corner, it says 200 inch there, length. When you press on enter, it's gonna add that line, dashed line for you. Now I know the distance from here to here is 200 inch. All right. And then I want to do 250 inch from this corner. So I'm going to click once, drag the measure tool, and then type 250 inch. And that's my 250 inch. Now, when you make the rectangle like this, you're going to exactly know it is 200 by 250 inch rectangle. Does it make sense? Let's say you want to also use push pull to raise it up for 200 inches. There are two ways to do that. You can either add a measure tool, or you can just directly, when you pull it, it's not going to be complete until you click, right? So it's like waiting for me to complete by clicking. But instead of clicking, I'm going to type 200 inch. And again, it's in the right bottom corner. When you press on enter, it's going to make that height for you automatically. Now you see it's complete now. So it's a matter of clicks. If you click 2 times, you complete your push pull. But if you click once and then dial the measurement, enter, it's going to do it for you and then makes that exact measurement. Does it make sense? So you have to practice. Now, why am I telling all of this? Because when we make a table, we want to distribute the legs of the table evenly. So it's been an actual table, right? Not like a table with different legs with different places. So there will be no balance. So we need to maintain the balance. She's not here. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to make let's make a, okay, I'm going to make, let's say, 400 by 400 square table. So how I'm going to make 400 by 400? You start the rectangle, and then you type the measurements. We did it before, remember? So it's going to be 400 inches, comma, 400 inches. And then if you look at the bottom here, the measurements, you see? So comma tells me that it is, one is width, one is length. So 400 by 400. So that comma is by. So 400 inch by 400 inch, when you press an enter, it's going to make that tape square for you. Again, you start to draw, but you do not complete it, but enter the measurements. So it is 400 inch, comma, 400 inch. Enter. That's my square. Now this is going to be a table, right? So table should be above the ground because it's going to be supported by legs. So I have to move it up above the ground. How do I do that? Change the angle because it is on the floor right now. So I have to select the whole rectangle square. I'm going to use select tool to select it. And I'm going to use move tool to move it up. But how to make sure it is moving up? If you press on up key once, it's going to give you a guideline like this. You see blue line? It indicates that I'm moving it up, only up, not sideways. So I'm moving it up. Choose a good height. There we go. And then you keep it like that. Now, this is going to be my table. Now I need to use push-pull and then make it a little thicker, right? Next step is we're going to add legs. How do we add legs? We need to turn to look at it from the bottom, like this. Now I'm going to use measurement tool. Actually, you could also use offset. Should we use offset instead? Let's use offset. So there are different ways. Use offset to make another rectangle. You know why it's not working? Because it's not 2D. Offset only works on 2D. It is 3D. That's why this option is off. All right, never mind. Now let's use the measurement tool then. So what's the measures of this table again? 400 by 400, right? I'm going to leave like 20-inch space at the edge of each leg. Let's do that. So I'm going to use measure tape to add a 20-inch. So drag it, type 20-inch, enter. Drag it from here, type 20-inch, 20-inch, enter. Add another measure line, type 20-inch, enter. And add another measure line here and type 20-inch and enter. Now you see it's going to be easier for me to place the legs. It's going to be like evenly distributed. Now, let's make a leg. So I'm going to get the rectangle here after added the measurement lines. So at this point, since I have the measurements, so you see the dashed line is 20-inch away from edge, 20-inch away from edge. Every corner has this measurement dashed line because I use this measure tape. Now what I want to do is I want to add a square here. Okay. All right, so let's give the measurements to be 30 quote, comma, 30 quote, which means 30 inch by 30 inch. I'm not supposed to move the mouse, so that's why it's 30 inch by 30 inch. All right, so that little square, I'm going to copy paste 3 more times. So click on the square, Control C and Control V will make a copy. Just place it on every corner of the table like this. Control V, place it here. And Control V, place it here. All right. Let me undo this one. Control V. Let's put it here. If you guys, just one piece of advice. If you guys keep talking, you'll be lost. Try to focus. So I have the bases of my legs, right? Now all I have to do is use push-pull. So orbit, oops, let's orbit it like this. And we're gonna drag the legs, like using push-pull. So here, drag it and towards the red line. Why towards the red line? So you'd be touching the ground, right? Like this. All right. Now the rest is easy. All you have to do is push, pull, and drag it towards this leg. You see that dashed line? It means it's on surface. So it's going to be perfectly aligned with the length of this leg. So you don't have to guess, is it touching the ground? Just drag this push, pull towards this leg. When you see dashed line, let go. Now they're same height. Turn it. Again, use push, pull. Again, turn, drag it towards the other leg, let go. Drag this towards the other leg, let go. And then you see it's perfectly done. So we can delete these lines, we don't need them. Oops. So this is how we make the table. So you can keep it this simple. If you want, you can add some, I don't know, some carvings to the legs. It's gonna be a little complicated, but it's possible. For example, if you were to do, let's say, a little, if you want to beautify the leg of the table, this is what you could do. This is optional, guys. You don't have to do it. So I would use 2-point arc like this. Okay. I'm just trying, improvising, and then use it like this. It would beautify your leg of your table. You see, you could have beautifications like this. It's again, it's up to you. It's your imagination. Now this is a table. Now how do we make a chair? To make a chair, it can be either a round chair or a square chair. Let's make it a round chair. So I'm going to use circle, draw a circle, decent size for the table. Then I'm going to lift it up, click on move tool, press on up key, so I know it's going upwards like this. Okay, now I need to use push pull and add legs to it, and that's going to be your chair. For chair, you don't have to spend too much time, right? Just make it like approximate the places and the size of the legs. Just make one circle on the bottom, copy paste it, Control C, Control V, place it here. Let's see, yeah. Control V again, put it here, and Control V again, and then put it here. So just drag it towards the leg of the table, because they have to be, they both have to touch the ground, right? So they have to kind of, so that's the way we do it. You drag it, you get the surface, use push pull, drag it towards the leg of the table, and it's going to be perfectly aligned. Again, get this push pull, drag it towards the leg, turn it, the last one left, get the push pull, turn it, and this is a very simple chair. So we need to add a backrest to it, right? What shape is the backrest for this kind of chair? Is it, what was that shape called? Arc, right? We need to make it an arc. I'll make it an arc. So how do we make an arc? We can use We can add an arc line using 2-point arc. Like this, you see? And let's make another arc. Oops. All right, connect them with this line. It doesn't have to be perfect. Turn it. Uh-oh, you see, it didn't work because I wasn't looking at it from the right angle. So let's fix this. Let's add an arc again. There. Line. Okay, and I use push-pull like this. So we need to glue all 6 pieces of the chair, 4 legs, seat and backrest. We need to put them together into one single object. We need to glue them together. So how do we do that? To make them glue together, we need to select the whole chair like this using a select tool. Right click and then click on make components. A component makes all 6 pieces into one single piece. We name it a chair. Okay. Oh, I already had one name. Like let's a chair 2 because I made a chair before. So it's in my library. So a chair 2, and this is, you see, it became one single object. Now you can easily move it around if you want to. Now, why I'm doing it in the component, because for extra credit, you guys make 3 more, you get an extra credit. So I want to make a copy of this chair 4 times. Control C, Control V, place one here. Control V, place one here. Control V, place one here. Okay. Now I need to turn them around so they be facing the table. How do we do that? If you want to turn something easily, you have to look at it from top, from bird's view. So I'm looking at chair from the top, right? Okay. No. So we're going to use rotate. Pick one rotation point. Pick the second and just turn it around that rotation point like this. There. And you just move it closer to the table. Same thing for this one. Rotate. Pick a rotation tool. So you see, I can't rotate it this way. There's going to be a problem if I rotate it this way. Why do you think it is? Because you see the color of the ruler that I have, it has to be blue if I wanted to rotate it around its own axis. Otherwise, it's going to be like tilted. So let's change the angle. Like this. Get the rotate tool and try it again. Not letting me again. Okay, let's try to rotate again. I think it's going to work this time. Rotate tool. You see, the ruler is blue. If it's blue, there's no problem. So I need to just rotate it like this. There we go. Use move tool to move it a little. Like this. And then I need to rotate this one as well. That's going to conclude our today's work. So again, pick a rotation point and pick another point to rotate it around that axis. And there we go. So a table with 4 chairs.